Here's why villain the Proto-Goblin was cut from The Amazing Spider-Man. Following the cancellation of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 4, Sony quickly set to work on a reboot dubbed The Amazing Spider-Man. This cast Andrew Garfield as Peter Parker, and the movie was pitched as a fresh take on the character and his mythos. This involved creating a mystery surrounding his origins and the deaths of his parents, but the movie ultimately sidelined this mystery in favor of a straight-ahead superhero tale. The Amazing Spider-Man was a success back in 2012, but while the actors received good reviews, the film suffered from storytelling issues. Amazing Spider-Man 2, which featured a terrible version of Rhino, arrived 2 years later, but from its numerous tonal problems to its overabundance of characters and subplots, the sequel received even weaker reviews. Sony had plans for further sequels and spin-offs in the Amazing Spider-Man universe, but after a deal was reached between Sony and Marvel to include the character in the MCU, those films were scrapped. The Amazing Spider-Man is at its best when focused on the love story between Peter and Gwen Stacy, Emma Stone, and overall, it's a solid movie. After Spider-Man 3 received complaints about having too many villains, The Amazing Spider-Man downsized to only feature one main foe in Rhys Ifans' Drive. Curt Connors, aka Lizard. Sadly, the Lizard didn't make for one of Spider-Man's most compelling villains, though early plans for the reboot included another villain. Namely, The Amazing Spider-Man was set to include Proto-Goblin at one point. Why The Amazing Spider-Man's Proto-Goblin was cut. The Proto-Goblin is a goblin variation who only appeared in one issue of the comics, which was Spider-Man Volume 1 number -1. This was part of Marvel's Flashback Month in 1997, where they focused on untold parts of their heroes' backstories. Spider-Man Volume 1 number -1 revealed Norman Osborn wasn't the first Goblin. That honor belonged to his former research assistant Nels Van Adder. He agrees to be a test subject for an early version of the Goblin formula, and later mutates in a hulking red monster. While an intriguing villain, he disappeared at the end of the story and was never seen again. The Amazing Spider-Man was to include a role for the Proto-Goblin, but the character was later reworked into Connor's colleague Rajit Ratha, played by the late Irfan Khan. Proto-Goblin was presumably dropped from The Amazing Spider-Man because unlike the rather tragic Goblin, he wasn't really essential to the story, and because Khan had no interest in playing a masked villain or creature when he signed on to the movie. Ultimately, this was a smart move, as another villain would have cluttered the narrative. Key release dates: Black Panther, Wakanda Forever release date, the 11th of November 2022. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania release date, the 17th of February 2023. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 release date, the 5th of May 2023. The Marvels, Captain Marvel 2 release date, the 28th of July 2023. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever release date, the 11th of November 2022. Captain America, New World Order release date, the 3rd of May 2024. Marvel's Thunderbolts release date, the 26th of July 2024. Avengers, The Kong Dynasty release date, the 2nd of May 2025. Avengers, Secret Wars release date, the 1st of May 2026.